Highly intelligent minds don't just think, they simulate. You replay conversations, you analyze decisions, you predict outcomes before they even happen. You rewrite a text 5 times, then don't send it. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis, when too much thinking makes decisions harder instead of easier. While others move on quickly, you stay stuck inside the details. At night, your body feels tired, but your mind keeps running. If your thoughts never go quiet, that makes sense. Overthinking doesn't mean you're weak. It means your brain is trained to go deeper than most, even when it hurts. Analysis, paralysis, thinking isn't the same as moving. Being smart can sound like a superpower, but for many people, it feels more like a quiet trap. Because the sharper your mind is, the harder it becomes to turn it off. You don't relax. You review. You lie in bed and replay a sentence you said at 2 p.m. People assume intelligence makes life easier. Faster learning, better choices, more success. But psychology shows a different reality. Many highly intelligent people carry struggles that stay invisible, and the last one on this list is the struggle most intelligent people rarely admit out loud. The dark side of being smart. Number 8 is the quietest one. You crave depth, meaningful conversations, real ideas, emotional honesty. But most social life runs on small talk, weather, gossip, surface-level opinions. Not because people are bad. That's simply how many people bond. But for you, it can feel empty. You're at dinner, laughing, and still feel alone. You may be present, but not truly seen. So you start feeling isolated, even in a room full of people. And eventually you wonder, why don't I fit in? Psychology suggests intelligent minds often seek intellectual and emotional alignment, not just company. You don't want more people. You want more realness. Lonely in a room full of people. If this already feels personal, you're not broken. You're just wired differently. And that's not something to be ashamed of. Not broken. Highly intelligent people notice what others miss. Tone changes, hidden motives, emotional shifts. Your brain scans for patterns automatically. That awareness can be powerful, but it can also be exhausting. You sense tension before it explodes. You notice dishonesty before others do, and because you notice more, negativity can hit harder. One critical comment can echo louder than 10 compliments, not because you're fragile, but because you process meaning deeply. You don't just see reality, you feel it. Too aware, negativity sticks. People expect more from you. They assume you'll always have the right answer. And when you make a mistake, it feels bigger, like it proves something about you, like maybe I'm not who they think. This is where imposter syndrome shows up. Even when you achieve something, your mind whispers, what if they find out? I'm not that good. So the pressure stops being external. It becomes internal. You don't fear failure because you're incapable. You fear it because expectations feel crushing. You don't need to prove your worth every day. Imposter syndrome. What if I'm not enough? Being intelligent doesn't always make life easier. Sometimes it makes life heavier, and it's okay to admit that. Heavier. Your brain craves complexity. Routine tasks can feel draining. Repetition can feel unbearable. Folding laundry feels like punishment. When there's no challenge, motivation disappears. People may call it laziness, but psychology points to something else. Your mind needs stimulation to feel engaged. Without it, you procrastinate, zone out, or lose interest, not because you don't care, but because your brain needs more depth to stay awake. You're not lazy, you're understimulated. Bored doesn't mean lazy. Highly intelligent people often set impossible standards. Nothing feels good enough. Even success can feel incomplete. You finish the project and only see the flaws. Psychologists call this maladaptive perfectionism, the belief that anything less than perfect equals failure. It leads to burnout, chronic dissatisfaction, constant self-criticism. Perfectionism can look like discipline, but underneath, it's often fear, trying to keep you safe. And the trap is simple. Perfection is a moving target, so you keep running and still feel behind. Maladaptive perfectionism. Perfect equals safe. If you're exhausted, just listening to this, you're not alone, and you don't have to carry it all by yourself. You're not alone. You don't accept things at face value. You question traditions, authority, even your own beliefs. You hear advice and instantly ask why. That curiosity creates growth and innovation, but it can also create distance. People who prefer simple answers may feel uncomfortable around you. You're not trying to challenge others. You're trying to understand what's true. But deep thinking often comes with social isolation, not because you're difficult, but because you see complexity. Where others want certainty, your mind argues both sides. And here's the last struggle, the one many intelligent people hide: emotional heaviness. Intelligent minds often feel deeply, not because they're fragile, but because they understand. You imagine consequences, you notice suffering, you empathize fast. Psychologists call part of this emotional contagion, absorbing emotions around you like a sponge. You walk into a room and feel the mood before anyone speaks. You carry emotional weight quietly, even when no one sees it. That's why solitude can feel like oxygen, not to escape people, but to breathe. Emotional contagion, absorbing the room. Being highly intelligent isn't about having all the answers. It's about seeing the world in layers that others don't notice. And yes, that awareness can feel lonely, confusing, even painful. But your mind is not a curse. It's a rare gift that needs balance, boundaries, and the right environment. You're not too sensitive. You're not too much. You just think deeper than most. So start small. Act before you overthink. Choose good enough over perfect. Connect with one person who feels real. When you understand your mind, you stop fighting it and you start learning how to live with it. Use your mind. Don't let it use you.